Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us and finding the time in your, I'm sure, very busy schedule to join today and spend a few minutes with us to talk about the Onfido Real Identity platform. My name is Tay, and I'm a Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Onfido. And I have the pleasure of being your host and first presenter today. And I'm also joined by a few of my colleagues from across the business. So we've got Sarah, Mihir, and David from the product management and leadership team, and Jorge, one of our solutions engineers, who will be showing off a demo a bit later on. So please look forward to that. We're all incredibly excited to share with you these new products and technologies that we've been working on recently and that you would have seen us launch into the market recently. So you may have seen some of it from our presence at FinTech Nexus and Money 2020 over the past few weeks. All of these developments that we're sharing today are a direct result of really tight collaboration with our existing and prospective customers. And overall, the solution is built for and focused on helping you do four key things. That is, improving your customer acquisition, reducing the costs associated with that, enhancing fraud protection, and helping you satisfy global compliance. So that's what we're going to be focusing on today. And just the final thing, bit of housekeeping before we get into the presentation. Let me point out the QR code that you'll find on the bottom of our slide here. You can use this code or the link that we're going to be sharing in the chat now to access Slido. So through Slido, you can submit any questions that come up throughout the presentation and throughout the demo, and we'll bank these and get to them towards the end of the session as well. So without further ado, let's get started. On the next slide here, I want to first talk to you a little bit about the challenges of identity verification and the increasing complexity as we see it. Right? So we all are seeing identity verification getting more and more complex in a digital-first world, and businesses that we are working with are now facing new opportunities, but also new challenges when it comes to effectively onboarding new users. So take the example of increasing globalization. So we love seeing more of our customers expanding internationally, but often their systems are at different points of maturity, and oftentimes there's a lot of internal changes. And externally, the regulations are always tightening and evolving. So from their perspective, it's really quite difficult to stay on top of everything, especially if you operate or you want to operate and expand into multiple regions. Fraud is also evolving faster than we could have imagined. It's much easier now for fraudsters to create fake documents today, and new synthetic fraud is taking over the digital space as well. And on top of all of that, you have to compete harder for every new customer. At Onfido, everything we do is to try and make it easier for our customers to tackle those exact challenges. And today, we're going to be talking to you about some exciting major developments to our product portfolio that can offer you a much stronger end-to-end solution that will help drastically simplify onboarding and authenticating your customers, and to help you really build that foundation of trust with them. Okay, so the key message for us throughout all of this is really simplicity. It's at the heart of everything we do, and it's the guiding principle for this new platform. The Onfido Real Identity platform is our latest innovation designed to power open, secure, and inclusive relationships between you and your customers. So let's take a closer look at it now. This is what the Real Identity platform looks like at a glance, and this graphic serves to show you how we're bringing together award-winning document and biometric solutions, a carefully curated library of identity verification services and signals, and innovative new anti-fraud measures to confidently verify identities globally at minimum friction to users, helping you to prevent more sophisticated fraud attacks and address compliance needs at scale. So in the center of the graphic, you can see the Onfido verification suite. It offers a complete package of document and biometric verification, as well as data verifications and fraud detection options. We're making it really simple for customers to get the most out of that suite, and we're doing so with Onfido Studio. But this is the orchestration that allows you to build customer verification journeys with an intelligent UI with no coding required. You can translate these customer journeys with features like Smart Capture and our unique IP and our APIs that are built for engineers and loved by some of the largest global businesses. And at the heart of all of this, at the heart of the performance, is Onfido Atlas. It's the AI developed in-house, built to detect fraud, and to do so with award-winning anti-bias technology. With all of this, we're aiming to make the end result simple for you and for your users, so you can view all the applicants, including the decisions Onfido made about them and why, through the Onfido dashboard. And we don't hide any performance metrics from you. You can see exactly how our integration is performing with comprehensive insights and analytics on demand in the dashboard. So there's a lot there, and I'd like to dive a bit deeper into a few of those components, starting with that verification suite, which is the cornerstone of the platform. So of the 4 different verification types, I imagine the document and biometric verifications are the ones you're most familiar with to a certain extent when it comes to Onfido. So this is what we're known for. We support over 2,500 of the world's documents, and we're always adding more, ensuring that users don't have to be turned away because their documents are unsupported. And our end user experience is built with conversion in mind. So all your customer needs to do to get onboarded is to take a quick photo of their ID. And because we recognize that identity document checks are an effective way of linking an applicant to a legal identity, but it doesn't guarantee that the person presenting the document is its genuine owner. So with a simple selfie or a video, we can also match an applicant's facial biometrics to those on that very same identity document. Recently, we've been working around the clock to improve both our automation rate and fraud detection for our document verification specifically, so that we can help detect more fraud and do so faster, keeping you safe without driving down the user experience. We've also added support for scanning the chip on e-passports using NFC technology. That's available throughout Europe and parts of the US today, and it's a super powerful fraud signal, detecting nearly 100% of fraud in mere seconds. We're also helping businesses to use their existing data that they have on fraud with features like known faces and known documents. This works by figuring out if we've seen a biometric, a document, or part of a document in your system before, and then flagging it for fraud, which gives you another highly accurate and highly automated tool to use against more sophisticated attacks. And finally, we've expanded our biometric suite with Onfido Face Authenticate. That answers to account recovery and high-risk transaction moments by reusing the biometric markers that were captured at the point of onboarding. This really helps to avoid users having to jump through the multiple hoops of expensive call centers or unreliable knowledge-based authentication. Now, onto some of our newer options. So the Onfido Real Identity Platform now incorporates a mix of multi-dimensional data signals for you to assess risk in the fastest way possible. So we have a whole list of these that we could go through, things like watch list, ongoing monitoring, ID record, proof of address, etc. All of that is to say that we're providing you the intelligence to create a 360-degree view of a user globally and to stop more fraud without impacting the experience of genuine users at all. So now you have all of this with just one provider. You can create complete and custom verification flows that minimize friction for the end users globally and improve performance throughout. And the great benefit is that if you currently use, or if you're considering using other data sources outside of Onfido, you don't have to worry about managing the suppliers, the costs, the integrations, embedding, and so on. We'll take over and measure the performance of different vendors. And we'll choose the right vendor by country so that you don't have to have that headache. And with this full range of verifications, we're ensuring that the process and tools are in place to enable KYC and AML compliance and speed up the decision-making process. Okay, moving on. So let's look at how this all works together. Again, none of these verifications would be that powerful if they weren't deeply integrated, configurable, and easy to use. So to allow the right balance, we're offering you the ability to customize each experience in a seamless flow in Onfido Studio. Studio is our mission control for identity. empowering you to build and manage tailored experiences to meet user and market requirements with flexible automated workflows. And here's how we're doing it. Number one, we automate tailored experiences, triggering the right level of verification for every customer at the right moment in their journey. So you can step up or down the necessary verification depending on certain user signals. Number two, you can craft the ideal user journey with no-code workflows. So there's no need to dedicate huge engineering resources to maintain and build these experiences. You simply drag, drop, and deploy. And number three, you can navigate global compliance by easily introducing new verification methods, new data sources, and fraud signals to address global compliance requirements as you scale, as and when you need them. So in short, Studio is designed to be end-to-end, complete, and simple. In my opinion, this is one of our solutions that is best seen in action. So I'm going to hand over to Jorge now for a few minutes so he can give you a quick demonstration.
Thank you, Tay. Perfect. So this is Studio. My name is Jorge Montiel. I'm part of the solutions engineer team in the UK. And today I'm going to show you how you can, without any coding experience whatsoever, create a flow and even test it live with real life results. So for that, I'm going to explain a little bit what we're seeing here in this virtual canvas. In that respect, the first thing is if we click on Add, then we could see all of the components of the Onfido real identity platform. So we have this map capture options, then we have the actual results themselves based on the documents, the biometric suites when it comes to taking a selfie, and then very important as well, the database checks that we can perform. We also have no bases, etc. Another one that is very important to build this workflow is the conditional, so that very well crafted you can automatically define which flows the users are going to take depending on certain conditions. And then at the end, also retries if something goes wrong within the flow, then you have the option to, without finishing the actual check, to retry. But then also importantly, we're giving you the decision as a customer, as to what happens to a check depending on our condition, to approve it, to decline it straight away, or just to send it for manual review. So having said that, I've already created a flow. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that we can see it better. The first thing that in this flow that we start is just capturing the data. Now, basically, I'm going to you're going to see it running in the demo itself, but basically, I'm going to input my details, etc. Now, this flow that you see here is built. Let's imagine that my company has a low friction first strategy. That means if I can get our customers on board as quickly as possible, the better. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to miss any fraud. So if this quick way of onboarding my customers fail, then as you can see, I have the option to go with a little bit more friction, but a higher level of security when it comes to capturing a photo of a document, then running capturing a selfie, and then running both reports after that. And then if they pass both of the reports, I'm going to approve the applicant. But if not, then I'm going to flag it as to review. Now, I could, just to show you very quickly what it would look like if I wanted to remove any of these checks. So I can, let's say I want to replace a photo over here with a video instead. So I need to replace two of them. I need to replace this one. And I come here and I go to face capture, but in this case, I'm going to choose the video. I'm going to put it there for the moment. I also need to change the report, the type of report we're going to run. I'm going to remove that. And then I'm going to go to the actual video. So I found the video, it's right here, put it there. And then as simple as just connecting the arrows, and the report and everything gets the way it was before. And now, in this case, when the two very low friction reports that we're running fail, then I'm going to ask for a selfie video. And that's as easy as it looks when it comes to changing your changing the flow for your end users. In that respect, and I'm going to go back and show you what it would look like after I created this. Just for the sake of the demo, I'm not going to save the changes. I'm going to keep it as a selfie. And as you can see, I have several versions of the actual flow. And the first thing we're going to do is being able to run it, even if it's not active, even if it's not out there in available to my customers. I can just very quickly click on Live Preview. That will launch another window, and then voila, this is what it would look like if I went ahead and published these changes to my, let's say, web application in this case. So I'm going to start the verification. I'm going to make it fail so that we see the longer route. I'm going to put here some details right there. Then I need to put an address as well, so we can make a full decision. This database checks like ID records and watch lists. I'm gonna choose the UK as the country. Cool. Just gonna put London all the way. I have the minimum details that I need to provide. Click on continue. Right now it's doing a live check, and actually, if we go back here, you're going to notice that I can even follow as it's running. I can follow that into the workflow. So right now, it failed, as you could see. So the green arrows mean that it's going through, it's already been done. Now it failed the 2 reports, so it's going to go into asking me for a document. So the first step is using a country. So let's say I'm from Norway. I'm going to use a passport for that. Now, for obvious reasons, I'm going to use a very real document, not quite. This is all part of our SDK. Again, for the more technical people in the audience, we are running a web SDK in the background, but it's all being orchestrated by our Studio platform. So this is standard functionality that we've had. And we're just telling the user what's a good picture, what's a bad picture. In my case, I'm going to use, like I said, a very real document like so. I'm going to upload that. And then open. It looks good to me. I'm going to upload it. And then the next step is going to ask me to take a selfie. So I'll do that in a moment. It's telling me, okay, we're going to compare. And as we can see, we can even follow the progress again. I come here. Now it's in the face capture step. I come here. I'm going to take a picture. Good. I go back a little bit just to center better. Take that picture. It looks good. I'm going to upload it. Of course, all of this is going to fail. It's a fake document, and that's not my face on the document. Then when you come here, then it's waiting for the results. The 2 reports have been executed, but we haven't had a decision yet. And that report, apologies. If we go back here to the to this, if we go back to the list, right now the document report is in progress, and we can look at it as so. So obviously the document has been rejected, etc. So that would be it from me. So I'll hand it over to Tay.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's wait for a second for the slides to come back up. Okay, that was very cool to see, Jorge. Thank you. There's 2 other bits of the platform that I'd like to give you some insight into, to talk a little bit about what's happening under the hood. First of those is the Smart Capture SDK. And today, Smart Capture is used by 70% of our customers, and for very good reason. So Smart Capture enables a whole host of improvements, including features like NFC scanning, image quality enhancements, face detection, as well as advanced document capture features such as barcode, MRZ, and edge detection, and an enhanced level of on-device fraud detection for things like device tampering and IP intelligence. All of this results in 90% first-time pass rates and an over 20% increase in first-time document and selfie capture success. Really, it makes it the best option, not only in terms of the user experience that you can provide, but also as a fraud deterrent for you. It really is the best of both worlds here. We're also really proud to offer all of our customers accessibility features that help us further reduce bias and drive inclusivity across the board globally. So we want to ensure that users from every walk of life can access your services, which of course is essential for your growth, but equally important for us is that Smart Capture is WCAG compliant, meaning that more people can successfully onboard, and it's been recognized for that. Finally, let's spend just a couple of minutes talking about the foundation to the platform, and that is Onfido Atlas. Atlas is the AI that powers Onfido's suite of fraud verification, from document and biometric verification through to our proprietary risk engine. As we said before, in the digital world, we see businesses running into increasingly hard to solve issues. Fraudsters are getting smarter every day. Customers are increasingly global. Regulators are taking notice of biometric technologies. So we've built Atlas to address these problems head on. Atlas is built in-house by our team of over 40 researchers to safeguard against today's smartest fraud and to provide a scalable line of defense against fraud that we've never seen before. It's built to help eliminate bias with an award-winning approach to training our models, and you can see just a few of our industry awards here on this slide. It's also built to provide pixel-perfect accuracy with our unique micro models tuned to detect even the slightest markers of fraud just in seconds. So you can catch more fraud without leaving good customers waiting. And really, recently with Atlas, the gains have been very impressive. We've seen a 54% increase in fraud detection versus traditional generalized AI approaches, with 95% of checks also now being returned within 10 seconds, keeping your business safe again at scale. So there's a lot of news there and updates for you to remember, and this is actually only a snippet of the entire offering. Obviously, we'd love to have the opportunity to give you more detail at any time, so please do reach out. But just before that, I want to recap with what makes the Real Identity platform and Onfido in general unique. For us, really, it boils down to 4 key factors. Number 1, we truly offer a complete ID solutions in the form of one flexible package designed to solve identity challenges holistically. With our in-house managed infrastructure, you can take advantage of a highly configurable solution to choose the right level of friction versus risk for each customer, all under one vendor. And we offer global performance, and the numbers speak for themselves here. I've mentioned it already. We offer a massive global footprint of documents and signals covering 2,500 docs across 195 countries. Number 3, we're proud of our excellent user experience. So we've seen customers come to us with incredibly complex challenges, and we've seen them go live in just weeks, not months, by leveraging our well-documented API, robust Smart Capture SDK, as well as features like the market-leading dashboard. And finally, what sets us apart is our AI innovation. Our proprietary fraud prevention AI is built on 10 years of experience, and our industry-recognized commitment to fairness and anti-bias means that we're a trusted partner for businesses looking for identity expertise. So that's why we believe we have a great solution. But before we take your questions, I wanted to finish by talking a bit about what the market is actually saying about Onfido. So if you're considering any identity solution, you're probably wondering, is it worth it? What kind of benefits in return will I get? And we like to give an indication of the ROI of Onfido's solutions using this new study from Forrester. So Forrester, the firm, interviewed a whole cross-section of Onfido customers to get a picture of the benefits their businesses have experienced, and then they created a composite company and calculated what those tangible benefits were and what the ROI was, what they got back from investing in Onfido. And you can see their conclusions here, right? They reported 261% ROI, 26% increase in accounts captured, a 27% increase in fraud attempts detected, and all in all, the solution paid for itself in less than 6 months. These solutions are proven with some of the world's largest businesses across financial services, crypto, e-commerce, and beyond. And I would encourage you to take a look at the bank of case studies that we have available on our website, so you can get a good view of the sort of impact and value Onfido solutions are able to deliver across industries. I wanted to leave you all with just a snapshot of a few recent examples of customers who have found success with Onfido. Okay, that's it for me for today. Many thanks for making it through to the end and allowing us to tell you a little bit more about our new platform. This is now your opportunity to ask any questions to the Onfido team, so please continue to add them through Slido and the link in the chat as well. Thanks for your attention.
Great, thank you, Tay. We'll now open up for Q&A. Please submit your questions through the Slido QR code on the slide. We'll start with some top questions here, and we'll kind of keep rolling through as questions come in. The first question is, can you speak a bit more about your NFC capabilities with European documents? We actually support most European passports with NFC currently today. So please reach out to us depending on which region or country you're interested in. We can walk you through our NFC capabilities for those regions, and happy to support you with your needs there. The next question we have is, can you talk about some features, signals which are part of the Onfido roadmap? I'll ask David Wolf to help with this response here, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Very close to my heart and super excited to talk about it as well. To provide a little bit of context, in terms of the history of Onfido, we've always been very dominant in biometrics and then document verification. But as of this launch and obviously the ramp up to getting there, we're looking into various other ways of how we can understand more information about users, effectively our customers, and help them onboard faster. And we see that especially in the US, but in Europe as well, effectively globally, any customer really cares about the cost of customer acquisition. And so in order to reduce that, we need to reduce the friction, and we need to be able to provide to our customers a really, really fast way to onboard their customers in the smoothest and way with basically very limited friction. So going to your question and having provided a little bit of context, when we talk about signals, we talk about piece of information that we can capture and that allow us to triage and our customers to understand whether they should be accepting or rejecting them. So some examples are that we cluster into applicant fraud, for instance, device metadata signals, but also IP address that we can map to a geolocation that allows us to get a better understanding of where the users are based and whether that matches the records. We also have other signals like identity record, which are database checks or watch list checks, where we look for instance, politically exposed people or people that are effectively connected to sanctions. We also have other signals such as social security number, phone verification, and so on and so forth. So there's quite a large roadmap. It really allows us to get a full picture and a profile of our customers.
Thank you, David. The next question we have is around, is there liveness detection and what kind of scenarios are tested? Is it randomized? I will defer the question to Sarah, who heads up our biometrics product line. Sarah, if you want to please answer that.
Yeah, thanks, Mahir. So today we have two sort of core biometric products. One is a selfie product and one is a video product. And actually both products include two elements. One's a face match. Does the person in this document, does the person match their document? So is there ownership of the document? And the second element is there liveness? Is a real person behind the camera? So even with a selfie, there is a liveness element in that product. And in the video, there is an active liveness element. There's the person is asked to do a head turn and repeat 3 numbers. And within the video product, both those challenges are randomized, and that helps with things like anti-replay attack. In terms of what kind of protection we offer, actually both are quite good for protection. Both offer a similar amount of what we call false acceptance rate, and false acceptance rate measures the amount of fraud. So for how many fraudsters that are presented, how many get through, and offer both are very, very similar, and both protect against things like a photo of a printed photo, photo of a digital screen, a video of a video, things like that. Things like 2D and 3D masks. So things like the video product will offer better protection against some of those 3D elements because you've got that head turn, whereas our selfie product is stronger, well, offers protection against all those 2D elements. And in fact, our selfie product is IBETA level 1 certified. We do have a new product coming to market soon, but we'll talk about that soon enough.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. We have 3 questions here, very similar around our proof of address offering. Maybe David, if you want to address this around how do we verify bank statements, how do we verify addresses, is there any geolocation or some other capabilities we have in the platform today?
Yeah, absolutely. So addresses are really complex, and so what we don't have in place is checking whether an address necessarily exists. But when you think about the irregular, and this is something we were looking into later on, but that's not necessarily linked to identity verification. What we're saying when we talk about proof of address, just to be really clear, is to meet the regulatory need that our customers have when they need to ensure that someone can prove where they live, and that is a legitimate document, and that address is also mapped to someone's record. So we do that with OCR detection, and we assess the validity of the document. We assess, similarly to our documents line of business, whether that document or that upload, that image is legitimate, and then we also check whether that person is linked to that address. And so we do that globally. At this stage, only for Latin characters. As you can imagine, there's a lot of complexity in some of these products, but we are expanding this further into additional regions. But yeah, it is a global product. It's extremely desired by customers and is a big focus for us.
Thank you, David.
Of course.
So the mark of these 3 questions. The next question around, is there SDK available which can be embedded in a hybrid app? Maybe Jorge, would you like to take a lead on this question?
Sure, yeah. So we have availability of basically 3 types of SDK. So we have a web SDK, which is the one that you saw me running today, that runs on the back of workflow that we built on the Studio platform, but also can be run over Android devices and iOS devices. These are native applications. We also support like React Native as well in terms of these hybrid approaches. And obviously, if it runs on the web, it depends on how the application has been developed, but it is a possibility of work running it within the any web development as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Jorge. Another question here that came up, can existing customers of Onfido switch to Studio? And the answer is yes, absolutely. We have developed a kind of a seamless transition path if you're an existing customer for us to help you switch over to Studio through our new API integrations there. So please reach out to us, and we'll be happy to walk you through that process. The next the next question, does the Studio solution support mobile SDKs as well? I think, Jorge, you can answer that, but maybe just to repeat it, yes, it is supported on the mobile SDK that stands today. So all of our SDKs capabilities are supported with Studio.
It's really, if I can just add it, it's really important for us to do that purely because the quality of the images is a lot better on mobile. So this is definitely something we had to and have to prioritize. So very much pride ourselves with our Smart Capture SDK, and so that obviously is connected to Onfido Studio.
Perfect. The next question, is there a trial or sandbox environment available for test integration? Yes, absolutely. We have a process to help you get on a trial and on a sandbox for testing. So again, please reach out to us through either our website or through sales@onfido.com, and we'll be happy to get you set up with a trial. Next question for you, Sarah. Can we just use biometric authentication?
The short answer is yes. So we have a product called Face Authenticate, which is our sort of solution for sort of like that post onboarding when you're continue to prove that Sarah is Sarah. And we have an enrollment solution that enables you to tell us who you'd like to enroll in that solution. And so that means if you haven't always been a customer of Onfido and you need to enroll users in that solution, we have that capacity for you to enroll whomever you want in that solution. So if you're interested in using us for authentication and you already have a bank of users you'd like to enroll in that, we can definitely help you out with that. So please get in touch with us and we'd love to talk to you about it.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. We're looking for ID verification service for candidate onboarding / background services. So we have customers who use us for candidate onboarding and background services. Happy to connect with you about your specific needs. We also work with a couple of platforms like Fountain, where they're doing employee onboarding, where we integrate our services with them. So again, happy to connect with you on that and go over your needs on how Onfido can power those use cases for you. Next question we have: how does Onfido define themselves as a better service than competitors such as Verif? Tay, would you like to speak to this from a lot of time you've been spending on this area?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'd never like to directly compare myself to one competitor, but generally, I think it comes back to the points that we spoke about in terms of our differentiation, right? So I think the AI expertise and our expertise in the identity space is the point we always come back to and the point we find success with customers. Our ability to get integrated, so pardon me if you can hear some background noise there, to get integrated very quickly, as I said, in weeks, not months. And really, it normally does come down to performance. So once you go to a trial, more often than not, we do see success at that point with customers when we are in a competitive position. But yeah, again, very happy to run through that on a separate call with anyone who'd be interested. Please reach out.
I think one other point there is Onfido Studio and the platform play, right? So not being seen as a point solution, but really us being a platform, effectively a one-stop shop where you can configure with clicks, no code, really easy integration to your point, Tay, and are able to not necessarily require a developer team to go live to an extent, or can even use contractors because a lot of the configurations later on, especially when maintaining and making little changes to your integration with Onfido, can then also be done via Studio. So there's a huge benefit from that perspective as well.
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pressed to find as complete a solution from any one vendor at the moment other than Onfido.
Absolutely, thank you guys. Next question: is there manual review fallback in case the AI fails to verify ID? Yes, so we actually have a fully automated solution with our AI, and we also have the option to use a manual fallback depending on your use case, your business needs, your fraud vectors you're measuring and looking at today. So it is an option that's available. Many customers use it. Many use our automated option too. So we have a manual review fallback depending on your needs. And the beauty of the Studio platform, you can actually build logics to orchestrate what type of documents and what type of scenarios go to manual review versus going towards an automated check. So we have a lot of flexibility on the platform to help you build some custom logics there. Anything else the team would like to add to that?
Yeah, just to add to that, on the biometric side, actually, we're in a place where the biometrics technology is quite advanced the AI is quite advanced in terms of its accuracy. And so for something like face matching, actually, the AI is more accurate than the human. And the truth is that we all come with an inherent bias. And so if we get humans these days to do face matching, they introduce error. So we don't use humans for any face matching at the moment. We use it for a very small amount of our task because when we do it, we actually use error. So there is in the biometric side, at times there's a relatively small amount of times where we might say the AI can't perform the task. So in biometric, we say can the AI do the task, yes or no? And in most of the times, like 98% of the time, everything is done by the AI. And otherwise, we reject we say we can't pass it because the human is more likely than not to introduce error. But on the document side, he's right. There's the opportunity for doing this manually and to do it accurately is still the case.
Perfect. Thanks, Sarah. The next question: does your device integrity use device fingerprint? Anybody want to take
that? Yeah, we are.
So go for it.
Go ahead. No, go, David.
It's on the, it's a really short answer. It's on the roadmap, and pretty soon this should be available within Q3. We are in the process quite soon of beta testing this, but yeah, it's on the roadmap.
Right. So when we have that in the coming quarter, it'll be using device fingerprinting as a way to look at device integrity.
Yeah,
right.
It's part of our overall offering of device metadata within what we refer to publicly as applicant fraud. So that's already available as a report in our API docs. So that's live. You can all access it under documentation.onfido.com, and device fingerprint will be added as a new feature to this.
Perfect. Thanks, David. Next one, is there any improvement or change on cross-platform mobile development side? Jorge, would you like to take a stab at this one?
Yes, and I need to interpret a little bit the question. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing they're talking about these platforms like React Native and the like. We currently support React Native. We also work with Flutter in that respect, and we keep adding more platforms as well. I mean, probably a couple would escape right now, but we definitely keep working with these organizations to have broader support on that.
Perfect. Thank you. The next question we have here is, do you offer KYB services? David, you want to answer that?
Yeah, not currently, but it's also on the roadmap. As you can imagine, the world of signals is vast, and from our perspective, we really pride ourselves, as was mentioned earlier, on performance. So we want to make sure that we do a really good job at the signals that are live. KYB is on the roadmap. We will be looking into it, but right now, in the moment, it is not available.
Thank you, David. Next question, does NFC is available on the web SDK? I believe, Jorge, I'll let you answer that question.
Yeah, unfortunately, there isn't an API from the web to access NFC readers on mobile phones. So it's not limited to Onfido, it's just that the technology is not there. So just to double confirm, right now, the APIs that are available to read an NFC readers are on mobile SDKs.
I presume do we offer a cross-device flow though, Jorge, for customers who use the web SDK?
It's the same thing. So the moment I access the flow on the mobile, on that cross-device flow, I'm accessing a web session on my mobile device. So I still don't have an API available to access the NFC chip.
Got it.
To access the NFC reader.
Got it. Just wanted to make sure people understood.
Correct. So you need to develop, in other words, you need to develop a native application, a mobile, Android, and iOS native application to being able to access the NFC reader on those mobile devices. That's a general limitation of the market. There are some initiatives to get an API over web, but it's more challenging than it sounds.
Great, thank you, Jorge. I'm going to tackle these three questions here together. Do features such as known face or NFC come at an additional cost? How competitive is our pricing? Is there a monthly minimum commitment for your solution? So we have very flexible pricing models today, and we've launched some new actually packages with our Studio platform, where some of these features actually are bundled in. And these underlying capabilities like known faces have really helped accelerate customers' fraud detection capabilities, right? So we'll be happy to go over pricing with you. Please reach out to us, and happy to share even competitive pricing and how we compare against them, right? There is a cost and the value factor, so we always kind of weigh that carefully, right? We are providing a lot of new value with these additional capabilities and continued investment from the Onfido side. We'll be happy to go over pricing with you in detail. Any other comments from the team around this?
Yeah, just to say for people who don't know, Known Faces is a fraud protection solution we offer on the biometric side. So what we do is we say to a customer, have we seen this face before within your checks? And it's as Mihir said, it's proven really effective as an additional fraud layer. In fact, we had a customer in Asia who wasn't using it, and then they ran a promotion where they wanted to acquire new customers. They ran a very good acquisition offer, so good that it was very attractive to fraudsters, and they had a massive fraud run. And what we did for them was we could run it retrospectively for them, and with the Known Faces product we caught 100% of the fraud. So if you're interested in doing stuff like customer acquisition, it's really important that you put them, not only it's great you want to acquire new customers, and we all want to do that, that you put in place the right fraud protection at the same time. And something like Known Faces just does a truly a brilliant job at doing that. So come and talk to us about that.
Thank you, Sarah. And another thing I want to add on the last question about monthly minimum commitment, right? So we actually have new starter plans that we can help you get started if commitment is a challenge, right? So please talk to us. It will help you get started with some very minimal or no commitment options. We also have some pay-as-you-go options too. Plus, with our studio offering, there are some special pricing available there as well if you would like to adopt some of our new products. So please again reach out to us, and we're happy to work with you with some special pricing there. Great. Let me clear these out. The next question I have here is the studio can we white label the studio as our customer is not a user of a B2B offering? So I'll take a stab at it, and happy to others jump on. We have actually many reseller partners today who white label our solution for their end customers. So studio can also be absolutely offered as a reseller platform to your end customer. So what capabilities of white labeling we have, that's something we can discuss with you. Anything else team wants to add to this?
The only thing I'd say.
No, I was just going to say that the studio platform itself is nothing but an orchestration of the product that already exists and will exist moving forward. And the white labeling capabilities, and we also added like parent-child relationships very recently as well, to being able to have an umbrella account over all of your customers and things like that. And when it comes to the branding itself, we can go from removing all of the branding or just leaving parts of it, etc., etc. So we are very flexible when it comes to that.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, one adjacent point I wanted to make is we talked about white labeling of Studio, but also the SDK that underpins the underlying technology. There's a lot of customization options as well to that. So for the B2B offering, so for the B of your B2B, there's customizability, and then also for the businesses that come after, there's also at the SDK level, whoever uses it at the end, also customization options. So we're very aware that we're offering a service that is that there's multiple layers to what we offer.
Great. Next question: does Onfido work via web browser, especially Safari and Chrome? We don't want to have push all of our clients down our app. Or maybe talk about Web SDK and also our new hosted Web SDK and how we help customers with that.
That is correct. Yes. So we basically it is a Web SDK for all intents and purposes, and it's fully functional on both laptops and mobile browsers as well. So yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Next question: do we have a scoring methodology to attribute high, medium, and low risk to the prospects? We're actually working on a next generation risk scoring engine right now, where we'll be able to provide you with this type of scoring capabilities. Happy to go over with you with whoever is interested, Francesca in this case, with you, and explain to you what that risk engine would look like, and go over those kind of detailed product roadmap and feature planning with you.
One thing I'd say to that as well is I obviously echo completely what you just said, me here, but even to in our existing products, when we think about fraud, we're already doing this, right? So we might just not label it as such, but if you think about how our document products, how biometric products work, you look at the overall sub-breakdown, there's multiple reasons for why something might be flagged as a consider, might be flagged as a rejected, might be flagged as a clear. So it's maybe not as accessible as such, but behind the scenes we have algorithms and yeah, basically understanding based on all the various inputs what we should be flagging it back to our customers.
Perfect, thanks, David. Next question: we currently have an umbrella company as means of FCA regulation. How does it fit into our KYC workflow? Can we send the details straight to them, and would they accept this? We have a lot of customers who are FCA regulated, compliant, and we work with them in their workflow. I'm not sure if anybody else anything specific to add to this particular scenario. Can we do something special for this workflow? Yeah. So what I would suggest is please reach out to us. Again, we actually have internal policy and compliance experts that can look through your specific situation and how our current technology can help you meet the FCA regulation. So we'll be happy to, but we have a lot of customers who we support today to help them comply with FCA regulations. The next one here is around would we incorporate sections for company house documents as corporate structure, etc. I'll bring this back to the KYB question. David, do you want to just quickly answer that one?
Yeah, it's KYB is on the roadmap. It's not available right now, but we are very much looking into it. So here as well, whoever asked that question, please reach out to us. Effectively understanding how much demand there is for these products will determine how we prioritize it. But yeah, right now it's not being developed, but it can be developed very soon. So definitely get in touch. We also know the market very well. So even if it's not by us, we can also refer. Yeah, there's always ways of how we can work together on these things.
Perfect. Thanks, David. Next question we have around, I'm from Kenya. Do you have clients in this country or region? I don't know exactly if we have clients in Kenya, unless someone on the call knows, but I know we actually have documents from Kenya that we support today as part of our document checking.
So Mihir, I would say, I'm not sure about have customers, but I would say that we have some clients who have strong traffic to that region. So we have some customers like Chippercash and Luno who, so Chippercash is a remittance customer who are based in the US, but they have really strong corridors of traffic to and from various countries in Africa, and actually there's a case study from those guys on our website you can go and check out today. And Luna or another, they're based in they're not based in Kenya, they're based in South Africa, and they're one of our biggest customers and really big, strong traffic, strong amounts of traffic from all around the world. So, and in terms of things like bias mitigation, that's something we spend a lot of time on. So, in terms of our, biometrics, we've invested a lot of time and energy and continue to invest a lot of time and energy to make sure that our product works for everybody. We've got, because our, as Tay talked about in the presentation, our face matching models are built in-house through our AI experts, and we're able to collect data from those customers that give us permission and from their users that give us permission to build our own in-house models. And that means that we have an extraordinary, rich and deep set of models, a data set to build our models from. And it means that we can make extraordinary progress on doing things like reducing bias in our models. And it's something that's very, very important to us.
Perfect. Thank you, Sarah. The next one, which markets are automated versus need manual review? So this is an interesting question. It's not specifically to a specific market, but we have many or most of our documents are automated today. And in Studio, you can actually define those different workflows on how you would like automation versus manual. We have some clients who have a full manual review process today based on their particular business needs. Many are using our hybrid approach. So again, depending on which markets you are in and which document types are you looking for, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to go over that in detail with you. I'm gonna bump this question up here around, have you put in place a kind of path to help customers define their UBOs and provide their POA through the studio, like company documents, like an UBOs? David, would you like to take a stab at this?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just read the question one more time. Yeah, so within Studio, you can set your configuration, I guess, the way you'd like to, right? And so we have a recommendation as well of like how you'd like to do it in sort of the best possible way to capture fraudsters or accept good actors pretty fast. So it leaves you a lot of flexibility, but we also do, I guess, like quite a bit of handholding at the start, because we are experts in our field and provide you with an understanding of how you should be driving through it through the cloud.
It also seems to be a bit related to, if I may add, it also feels a bit related as well to KYB.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about unique, I think it's called unique business owners. I think it's the UBO. So that might come as well as we get closer to that functionality.
Yep. Great. Next one, does the address verification product cover global addresses? I think probably a POS question back to you, David.
Yep, sounds good. So again, to clarify, address verification, what we really mean is proof of address. So that's a regulatory requirement in various markets. It's a global product, and specifically at the moment limited to Latin characters. So yeah, we look at global documents. For it, there's a bunch of documentation, also a few guides on our developer hub, but also on our API docs.net. So any questions, if there are any questions, please have a look on the publicly available website. So otherwise, feel free to reach out and we can run you through the product in more detail.
Perfect. Next one around, are you FIDO2 compliant? Can I use FIDO2 authenticators via studios? Sarah, you want to take this one?
Yeah, so the face authenticate solution we have today is not FIDO2 compliant. It's not a FIDO2 solution. It is a multi-factor authentication because it's something you have and something you are, but it's not technically FIDO2. We are exploring what other passwordless solutions we may develop in the future, but we don't have one today.
Thank you, Sarah.
And so we're mentioning as well, we are part of the board members of the FIDO institution.
Yeah, and
so we are very, very closely working with them.
Yeah, and we're working on a number of the different working groups at the moment. You're absolutely right, Jorge. Sorry.
Great, thank you. I think the last question, will the recording of this webinar be available after, or will you be repeating it again soon? Both. We'll be repeating the webinar again soon. We have another session today for a different region, plus we'll have some more in the near future. And we'll also have a recording of the webinar available on our website shortly. But again, please reach out to us if you have any specific questions we haven't answered, or you wanna get a private demo and a preview of our platform. Please reach out to us. Okay, that's all from the Q&A side. Back to you, Ted.
I think that's it. I think we've covered everything, ran through what the platform looks like today. Had some great questions, so really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, and thank you for joining us and giving up an hour of your time. Hopefully it's been valuable. I think a lot of the answers there came back to, if in doubt, please reach out to us. We'd love to speak more about this. Reach out to product teams, marketing teams, sales teams. We'd love to hear from you. So that's it. Thank you so much.